Hey everybody, today we have a medium length video that's going to go over that DBQ breakdown that you've been working on the last few days. I want to clear up any questions you may have about the structure of the breakdown and the DBQ essay so that tomorrow we can have a great discussion. Actually, you're going to be posting questions for me tonight about the DBQ, whether it be content, like history type questions, or structural questions about how you're writing the actual DBQ and using the breakdown as a model. So this video is going to be real quick. I'm going to go through each one of the sections of the DBQ, and you're going to be able to see, hopefully, or be able to hear at least, what the College Board is looking for when you take each one of these components apart and try to answer it as completely as you can. So from here on out, we're going to be seeing screenshots of the DBQ breakdown, and we'll be talking about what is expected for each one of those. So here we go. So here is the first part of your DBQ. This is the introduction paragraph, and you'll see that it begins with contextualization, just like an LEQ. So this you already know how to do. It should be 3 to 4 sentences, and it should set the stage for the rest of your discussion of the period. The thesis is a little different than the LEQ because I'm asking you and I'm suggesting that you use an although, because, therefore statement. And what this does, especially with the although, is it demonstrates that there is an argument here, that you can debate this one way or another. So by saying although, and then explaining a concession or at least an argument against what you're going to argue, it demonstrates that higher order thinking and that complex understanding of history. This is what that sample DBQ did so very well. Then you move on to the because. Although, yada, 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 because of this and this and this, these are your 3 topic sentences. This is the basis of your argument and what your 3 body paragraphs will explain. This establishes your line of reasoning, which leads to your therefore, which is your claim. So in the end, your argument, the actual thing that you're going to be arguing and the point you're going to be making is that therefore statement. So in the course of our sample DBQ, the student said, although the New Deal did not fix all the problems of the Great Depression, it used deficit spending, it offered relief, recovery, and reform to most Americans, and it forever changed the makeup and the expectations of the federal government. Therefore, the New Deal was successful despite having some failures. Period. With a T, end of introductory paragraph. Moving on to body paragraph 1. Now, this is where the DBQ breakdown differs from your actual writing of the DBQ. The topic sentence is the same. You're going to take this from your thesis statement from the first part of the DBQ. But here you'll notice on the DBQ breakdown, I'm asking you to analyze each of the documents. From looking at the sample DBQ and at the rubric, you'll know that you'll only have to do this for 3 of the documents. So my suggestion would be to do 1 in each body paragraph if you can. Always pick the documents you understand the best. And here it's using that CAP method where you're going to be giving the context of the document, the author's point of view, the audience of the document, and then the purpose for creating the document. And this can be done in any order. That doesn't matter. Here I've laid it out with the author's point of view, context, audience, and the purpose of it. But it can be done in any way that makes sense to you when you're actually writing the DBQ. But again, when you're actually writing the essay, you're not going to be doing a cap for each one of these documents. You're only going to be doing it for probably one of them and doing it 3 times throughout the DBQ. Now we're on to the second part of the body paragraphs. And here you'll notice that there is the third opportunity to do a cap, and I'm asking you to cap for each one of these documents in the breakdown, but not in the essay itself. But there's also 2 opportunities to use outside evidence. As you notice from the rubric and as you notice from the sample DBQ, each body paragraph should contain at least 2 pieces of outside evidence, as well as evidence from the documents themselves. Now, these are never quotes. They're always just analytical evidence from the documents based on the document's purpose or its point of view or what it's arguing or the context of the document. And that's why the CAP method is so important. But you should be probably using 2 to 3 documents as evidence in each body paragraph, as well as the outside evidence. The last portion of the body paragraphs, you're going to be doing 3 of these, is where you're connecting the argument to another period of time, using documentary or outside evidence, and corroborating or disagreeing with an argument perhaps made in one of these documents. So this is, again, what that sample DBQ did so very well, is at the end of each paragraph, the student usually argued, either made an argument supporting the documents provided or argued against the documents provided. That really shows that you have a deep understanding of history, and that meets that analytical requirement at the bottom of the rubric, getting you your 2 points. So again, you're going to be doing this 3 times throughout your DBQ, as you're going to make one for each of the body paragraphs. The third part of the DBQ breakdown is that conclusion paragraph. Now, you should only consider writing a conclusion if you have extra time. And you'll notice in that sample DBQ that you read about the New Deal that the student did. In this instance, you can restate the thesis, and then you can connect the historical themes discussed in your essay to another period of American history. This, again, shows that deep understanding of history. It shows that you have a complex understanding of history. But you'll also notice that in the case of the sample DBQ, the student wrote a very, very short paragraph. It's only a few sentences to get this point. I don't know if this is will give you a point just for this, but it definitely shores up and strengthens your essay. So you only have to do 2 things in these conclusions, but if you didn't get here, I think you would still be all right if the rest of your essay looked really, really strong. So hopefully that clears up any confusion that you had about the DBQ. Remember, this breakdown is meant to be as a model. Obviously, when you're writing it itself, it's going to be kind of more of a narrative in a traditional essay, but this is just an easier way that we can make sure that we're hitting all the points and getting and meeting all the requirements of the actual DBQ. So that being said, remember today to ask your questions. It's a Schoology assignment. It's 10 points. It's on there right now. And then tomorrow, later in the day, because I'm going to have to go through all these questions, I'll be answering them as many as possible before you go on spring break. And then you don't have to worry about this for a week. So won't that be great? But until then, until now, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll start taking this all apart. All right. See you then. Hey, Thomas, that is not what a blender is used for.